Ta-da! So welcome to Wednesday morning yin class. Wave wildly if the audio goes or something happens and I'm not aware of it. Coming to seated first. Oh, quick. Seated position, a comfortable seated position, just so that we can check in with ourselves here. Let's bring the hands in prayer in front of the heart. And what a beautiful theme nature has provided us with, the theme of water. That sense of cleansing, a sense of rejuvenating. So without further ado, thank yourself for coming to the mat this morning, for that commitment to practice, to give back to yourselves, to aim to find stillness, and to listening to a few wise ones this morning, to actually not seeing being still. Yes, we're still in a shape, but we're not moving, we're being still. To not see that as a waste of time, to really see that as a valuable and valid practice for something beyond the physical. If you would like to set an intention this morning, do so now. Let's chant an Om together to bring us together as a group and start our physical practice. Let's exhale. Big inhale. And here we don't need to come into Ujjayi breath. We just start and focus on noticing your breathing. And before we come into any still shapes, I'd just like us to take that Corona hug. So crossing at the heart. I'll keep my eyes closed. You're welcome to, once you've seen what we're doing, close your eyes again. And we'll just do some windscreen wipers with our neck. So tucking the chin under windscreen wipers. And I'd like us to go eventually into a full circle with our cervical spine. So when you see and feel you're ready, take the head into the full circle. And so once we've crossed at the heart, once we hold on to our shoulders, this might be a little bit more easeful and feeling safer than if we do that just freely. And then don't forget to change direction. Circle backwards, circle to the side, circle forwards. Nice and slow. Beautiful. And then just pausing for a moment and then seeing if you can uncross. Yeah, or change the cross so the other arm is at the front. And then ever so slowly, I know it's not meant to be a dynamic movement practice, but I just feel we need to come into this circular motion with our whole upper body. Now leave it up to you. Maybe you'd like to feel into the idea of first it's a side bend, then it's a forward bend with your whole torso. Then it's over into a side bend, and then it's a gentle, gentle back bend. Good, and then a side bend again, and a few rounds to this side, and then a few rounds to the other side. I'll keep my eyes closed, but I'll slowly open them. Yeah, and it's not about what it looks like, it never is. And the practice now at home, and most of you have felt that, it asks for a little bit more responsibility of yourself, makes you a little bit more accountable to really feel into what's appropriate, and then coming to a standstill. Brilliant. And I'd just like us to, we've done that last week, come into a very gentle opening back bend from a different idea. If you have a prop in a bolster, then you use your bolster, and we're coming forward like this. So the bolster is just on the small of the belly. Yeah, where your pubic bone is not necessarily on it. If you feel this is too high or you don't have a bolster, maybe you have a blanket, like any blanket, even if it's a fluffy one, will do. A beautiful height would be 3-fold. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a yoga blanket. Or just cushions. Yeah, just something of that height. It doesn't have to be hard, or it's not nice if it's hard. And the pubic bone just sort of hangs off. And then we're hanging forward over it. Ah. And we're just having a little feel into how that feels when it comes to the lower back. Yeah. Hands can be, I like cactus arms, or you can have the hands to the side. Head is turned. Although for some of us, the shoulders, the arms need to come forward a little, and you turn your head to one side. Good. I'm going to come onto my chin so I can see you. You still see me? Yeah. Nice. So not overly dramatic with the sensation, and just allowing, as always in our yoga practice, allowing ourselves to let the experience be what it is. And this doesn't give it judgment. Yeah, and I think this is what we're experiencing now on a larger scale, of course. We could have an opinion about what we experience, of course. And we use our discernment to maybe give it label, but for yoga practice and to keep our inner peace and find our inner peace, we simply allow the experience to be what it is. And then we even go further. So I'm coming up, so I'm not talking to the floor. That's it. I'm going to see if I can see you. Beautiful. So the idea to even go further, not just let the experience be as it is, but perhaps go even further, and in our physical practice, find some softening. So where does this shape have an impact on your physical body? And very slowly and just kindly scan your physical body without going, oh, is this valid? Is this what she's asking? No, the inquiry is perfectly yours. And the answer is perfectly yours as well. Let me see. And of course, if you are having yourself elevated on a new bolster, there's a different sensation all over your body than if you simply have a sofa cushion or a blanket, or just your mat rolled up. So you want to have a little bit of elevation here. Nice. If you've turned your head to one side, perhaps slowly turn it to the other side to stay balanced. And then I want you to notice something, and this is just a little experiment. Oh, Lisa has joined us too. Hello, Lisa. Yeah, beautiful. Thanks for coming. A little experiment, and feel. Don't look, but just feel. Are your toes turned inwards when you're relaxed in your legs? Or are your toes turned outwards? Just have a little feel. Nice. There's no right or wrong. It's just how your hips are placed, or your femur is placed in your hip socket. Can we feel into that sense of surrendering, into that sense of letting go? You know yourself best. You know why you've come to class this morning. Maybe it's that pause mid-morning where you go, well, rather than just sitting down having a cup, I might as well do some yoga practice. Or perhaps you come because of the practice of becoming still and really just letting experiences be what they are. Now I'd like you to bring your awareness into the back of your torso and just feel, because we're in this shape, what is the impact of this shape when it comes to your back? Maybe you feel it stronger around the shoulder blades, maybe very deep down on your tailbone, maybe your lower back. Just noticing. And if the mind starts to wander, if thoughts come up, emotions come up, we validate them. They don't need to be judged or pushed under the mat. Nice. Just a few more rounds of breathing, allowing the thighs to surrender into the floor, allowing the chest and the belly to surrender into the floor, as well as all the parts of your body that are in touch with that elevation prop that you have. May that be a bolster, a blanket, anything. Beautiful. Perhaps you come for ritual. We have now been given, with our situation we find ourselves in, the opportunity to create our own rituals. Whether your life has changed a lot or just a little. Beautiful. Now, if you take this with you, if you take this home, you know, play with it. A higher lift creates a different sensation here for this shape, of course, than just a smidgen of a lift. And then you use this knowledge to use your yoga practice therapeutically. So we're slowly feeling into maybe coming out of this shape. So just as a ritual, start to deepen your breath. And start to notice how that feels. So the belly pushing against the floor, the carpet, the mat. Lifting, just becoming aware of pelvic floors, just have it lifted. Maybe bring the hands next to the chest. Yeah, and you can slowly just come up into a tabletop position. When you're ready, this is all in your own timing. And perhaps come back into child's pose first, or forward hero pose. Maybe if you're like me, having a blanket, you could bring your blanket underneath your forehead and just allow yourself to feel. This is already, let me see, whether you're in forward hero pose or in child's pose, it's a gentle counterbalance already. So notice where there is any sensation in your back. Beautiful. And then we move into the ultimate rebound. So I will suggest that you take the rebound after this on your back. Yeah. Mindfully moving, just coming into mini shavasana. Should I turn away from you? No, I go sideways. Beautiful. Help yourself along. Yeah, bend the knees, coming down. And of course, you're at home. There could be, you know, opportunities here for the mind to kind of go, oh, may I check the phone? May I check on the kids? Have I put enough water into the kettle for the cuppa after? And that's all valid. You know, this is life. As long as we can go, okay, if I'm here to find focus and to give back to myself, then maybe I come back into feeling my physical body, into noticing breath, into just experiencing being, feeling into where has the previous shape registered in your physical body, and then how do those body parts feel now? And perhaps you're here for simply resting, letting the nervous system slow down, letting the nervous system recalibrate. Give yourself time to feel into your physical body also. Work, being, existing often happens in the mind. So yoga practice, any style, draws us into our physical body, gives us the allowance to check in, feel your toes, feel your feet, your legs completely at ease, hips, belly, chest, arms and hands. Feel into your hands and into your fingers, neck and throat and your face, the whole entirety of yourself. Brilliant. Now we're building on that back bend. In that prone position, we're coming into sphinx or into seal. Make it into a ritual that you breathe a little deeper first. You switch on from your core, just so we know that, you know, we're coming back to center in addition to keeping us safe. We bend the knees, we roll over to the side. We're coming into that prone back bend again. This time, if you have no props, you could perhaps be here. Or maybe to lift yourself up, maybe you have sofa cushions. Here you go. Well, I don't have a bolster really, Bettina, and I don't have, you know, I'm not decked out with blankets. Or if you are, you could have it like this, just a little bit of a height, like this, and go, Nice one. Maybe even broader with the arms. Yeah. In class, of course, we have all props available. We bring the bolster high up underneath us. Good. And then we muscularly let go. There is admittedly some tension in the shoulders if you hold yourself up. But where we want to engage and bring some healing into the physical body is your mid back, lower back, your buttocks, and at the front, the opening up to here. So that whole part is muscularly relaxed. I'll talk you through. Yeah. And then in class, I would come around, check in with you. Okay, I'll do that to the best of my ability. Nice. Now, don't hold back. You know, you often see in the yin practice, you know, the masters, they go, or some of them, go in like this. The challenge I see here is like, can you really be muscularly soft when you hold yourself up that strongly? So that's something you have to decide. Personally, I always prefer a prop. I go, no, yin is not for me to hold strength. There's other yoga practice. So for me, this would be comfortable. And then you have to see, do you want to rest your forehead or do you want to let your head hang? Yeah, I'm coming up in a moment. I'll check in on you. That's it. That's it. So understanding first logically, because, you know, some of us are very logical and it's absolutely valid. What do we want to do? This is quite a strong backbend. Chest opening, heart opening, extension of the spine. And we want to become muscularly relaxed so we can move into the fascia, into the tissue, connective tissue. That's it, that's it. Kathy's got her forehead supported with a block. If you don't have that, just find, you know, next time come with all the props you can find in the house. Oh. And then again, just that little experiment. Are your toes rolling in or out? How are your feet and legs positioned? Without looking, just feel. Can you feel, is there a discrepancy? Maybe the right toes, you feel, don't look, turn out more than the left. Oh, hello. There's pets running in front of the camera. Oh, and just feel into. Let's start at the front. So for most of us, there's a little opening, there's a little tension between the pubic bone and the lower belly. Can we feel that? Marie, can you feel that? Yeah. Yeah. I know Marie wasn't really referring to the prone backbends, but that's okay. And then feeling higher up, where is a stretch-like sensation? In yin yoga, in traditional yin yoga, they call that tension. The tissue is tense. Could bring up a few funny emotions. So we call it elongation, a stretch. Where is it at the front? And I'm not saying this is the default height. Yeah, you could be here. You could just be hanging out over your bolster with nothing else. Yeah, and then feeling that elongation at the front. And then when it comes to the back, can you become muscularly relaxed where you feel the impact of this shape? Buttocks soft, soften your buttocks, feel into, aim for the softness. I know, we want to become completely still if we can. However, we always know that we can move if there is discomfort moving into pain. We don't want, pain is a signal, that's not to be overridden. Beautiful. Can you be softer in your lower back? Just inviting in that softness, that letting go. And maybe that softness is not happening because the jaw isn't soft. Let's start, jaw soft, eyes soft. Beautiful response from the parasympathetic nervous system, just softening, letting go. And maybe you're here week in, week out for the practice of letting go. And I'm coming off, but I'd like you to stay. If you're like me, the letting go is a practice, not coming naturally, easily. So it's practice. Beautiful. Let me see. Nice. Now see if you can feel into your physical body and ask yourself, where is this shape making the most impact in my physical body? Maybe it is the softening of the jaw. Maybe it's not as obvious as your logic may think. But claim that. You know, this is what it is today. This is your life. This is like, you know, we all make the most of the ISO life we find ourselves in. And we all have different truths about it. So what's your truth in this shape? Where is the impact? Beautiful. And then using the next 10 rounds of breathing, you send that energy consciously somewhere in your physical body. Let's keep it physical. Where you feel extra energy, extra healing, extra attention is needed. And welcomed. I'll take one earplug out. And then see if you can invite in softening into that body part that you've chosen. Softening. Nice. And then very, very slowly feeling into coming out of this long held back bend. Start to deepen your breath. Yeah, just consciously coming back to breath, lifting from your core, just bandhas engaged. And then perhaps you'd like to slide back and again come into either a forward hero pose. There we go, or a child's pose. Just let yourself notice where this is registering now. Oh, I won't come all the way in. I want to see the screen. Beautiful. Can we stay present to the physical sensations that make themselves known, and be accepting of them in a sense of momentarily. God, this is how it is. If we're not, if we judge, if we wish it was different, if we aim to ignore, that's when we start to suffer. Beautiful. So a rebound either on your belly or on your back, always of course your choice. But because we've been on the belly in the last few shapes, maybe you choose rebounding on your back. And make those movements that allow you to come into your rebound, into your feeling, into the shape position. Make them deliberate. Nice. But do make sure you're comfortable, you're warm enough. And every time we move, there is the ability for the mind to come outwards, orientated again. So draw it backwards. As you know, and as I often mention in our other yoga classes, the idea of yoga practice is for the mind to turn inwards and just become the observer. And when we practice this, we can do this off the mat. Just observe, we get to know our triggers, we get to know our automatic responses. And when we can do that, then we can actually aim for responses rather than automatic reactions and so forth. But it's the idea of observing, noticing. So where was the impact of this previous shape, and how do those parts feel now? There's no more stretches, no more elongation at the front. There's not such a strong compression at the back. Beautiful. Let's come into a twist. Yeah, so let's start to deepen your breath. Again, just being safe and being centered, that sense of centering. Yeah, switching on, core, bend your knees. Okay, the twist I am suggesting is one leg straight. I'll demonstrate here on this side where you can see better. Both arms are to the side, and then this top leg, one leg goes over straight to the other side. Now, yours may stop here. Then what you do, you can shuffle over to the couch, or you have a prop. Or as I say, ring the bell, get someone to get you a prop, and you go, oh no, my leg doesn't lower like that, Bettina. Then you just prop it up. But the idea today is to keep the shoulders on the floor. So we could, if you could easily do this, but let everything sort of lift, then that's not the point. Yeah, we want to have the opening here, as Marie suggested, and we need to work into our lower back. Yeah, and once you're having that L shape, can you even see? Oh, Bettina, get with the program. Yeah, then you turn your head to the other side. Now your knee may need to be bent a little. That top leg may need a lot of propping up, and that's absolutely okay. Yeah, if you have the couch there and it's just the height that you want to come into. Yeah. And then when we're sort of in that shape, we go muscular relaxation. Maybe the prop has to shift a little. Hang on. I have to say, I miss you here in the yin. It's like, I'm coming around, I'll give you props. I'll check in with you in person. Nice. Oh, let this be feeling good. Yeah. And you notice if it's a little too pulling in your lower back, bend your knee a little. Keep it that same height. Now I'm coming out, I'd like you to stay. Let's have a little look. So if you need some adjustment, if you need some help, I would need to be able to see you. Nice, looking good, good. Helen, I can't see you, but I trust you're doing well. Kathy, lovely. Linda, that's it. Good. Muscular relaxation, and we all know that comes from the face. So the jaw is soft, the eyes are soft, hands are soft, feet are relaxed. And then the whole rest of the body. Let's have a little looky. That's it, Rebecca. Nice. Good, Sharon. That's it. Nice, Sabrina. Yeah. If you, I do have bolsters and I do have blocks. So if you work something out, if you want to organize some. Beautiful, good, nice, Kat. Lisa, Marie, and Sean. Beautiful. And you know, as always, if you hear and you go, if I'm committing to that yin, and you know, Bettina holds space for me, and I commit to that time, but I have something that I have to work out, maybe a decision to make or something, and you take that space of time, that snippet, to work that out or to let that just sit in your body and your mind. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, use that time always, not just here in isolation times. Use it wisely, the way it suits you. Beautiful. Now feel into your physical body. What's going on? Could we perhaps needing to shift a little? Maybe you've been in there for long enough. Maybe you need to lower the lift the leg a little higher and bend it. Or maybe you can take a layer of support out. Maybe you can bring that top leg a little closer towards your armpit or towards your head. But if it's getting a little too strong in your lower back, then leave it. And then become muscularly relaxed. Yeah, so give the whole spine a twist by turning away from that top leg. Yeah. So if your top leg is pointing over to the right, turn your head to the left. Beautiful. And just let softness happen. Sometimes we talk a little bit more about the meridians. I'd like us to feel into softening. And accepting what is the sensations. You send some sense of peace into those strong sensations. I have strong sensations, maybe along, a bit like pigeon, along the outer buttock, top of the outer thigh, the lower back, the mid back, the beautiful chest opening. Here Here it is, because the shoulders are on the floor, the arms are wide. Beautiful. Breath is soft and smooth. In the twist, the natural breath needs to be a little yeah, the twist can restrict the breath a little, so the breath to be natural needs to work a little harder. And feel that. 5 more soft, soothing breaths here in this shape on this side. And the legs straight is a different sensation than if we do our windscreen wipers. So I really think the tendency could be that we sit a little more. Not for everyone, but if that is you, then this is hopefully a good shape for you to just allow things to soften here in the lower back. Beautiful. And then very slowly starting to deepen your breath. Now I would rotate the head back to neutral first. Your top leg, you can bring that same arm and just bend the leg. Yeah, that top leg, let it bend. And yeah, take the hamstrings out of the equation and then roll back to center. And then, yes, beautiful. Slowly, slowly feel it. You can bring both feet to the floor. You can bring both knees into the chest. Maybe a few Apanasana movements. Exhale, lifting. Inhale, coming out. Any other movement that's useful. And then seeing if we can take it from the start again, the other side. No assumption that that leg needs the same amount of support. Maybe it doesn't, because the spine, I mean, let's face it, the spine has been in that twist for a while. And perhaps you've intuitively started on your easier hip side, more agile, more mobile hip. So this could be different. Nice. Take your time to set up. If you don't need support, then don't take it. But remember, the shoulders stay. For our intention today, to open the chest a little more than make it into the hip. Yeah, beautiful. I'm assuming you have space for the arms out wide, or maybe slightly overhead. Let me see. Beautiful. Nice. Good. Of course, that straight leg is straight if you can, but the knee joint is not locked. Beautiful. Yeah, be creative. I see some of you really creative with the props, you know, anything that you have. Even if you have to drag your doona out, a few cushions. But remember, this is to come into the fascia, the connective tissue. So it's not about how higher and closer to my head can I bring my straight leg. No, you're in that comfortable position in yin. So the traditional yin asks you for a shape that you can come into comfortably, your body can sustain. And then we become muscularly relaxed. And then we take some time to stay there. This fascia reacts, that glad webby sort of connective tissue around us reacts a little slower than muscle. No, I need some props on this side. Beautiful. And what comes up needs to come up. It needs to come up for you. Allowing the experience to be as it is. Brilliant. Making sure your head is turned away from that top leg, getting that full gentle twist. See if you can now notice the broadness in your chest. Let me come out and let me see you. Beautiful. Yes, the broadness in the chest, and yet there is a centeredness. Even though we're softening, we're not holding our pelvic floor here, it's still valid to come back to center. Just notice the area around your belly button. Notice the area in your pelvic floor, in your lower belly. Coming back to center and softening from the center outwards. Because the jaw is already soft, the eyes are soft, feet and hands are soft. And then completing that sense of softness from the belly outwards. Beautiful. So we're safe in the shape. The sea is coming back to center, and then we have alignment, and we need to feel that. Maybe like on the other side, it's sort of half time where you check in with yourself. Do you need to adjust? Yeah, maybe that shoulder or both shoulders can soften a little better into the floor, into the mat. Ah, that whole heart opening idea. Nice. So that was alignment. Do we need to deepen it? That's what we just went through. Do we need to deepen it? Do we need to pull out a little? And can we soften? And then we go through that. One of my teachers, Sean, used to have that acronym, SCAD, S-C-A-D. And we put an S at the end for softening, always finding softness. Whether that's a soft yin shape or a strong and more dramatic yang warrior or something, we always find softness. That's how we do life. Beautiful. And then again, asking yourself, where is the impact the strongest on this side, in this shape? Where is your impact? May be different than the benefit. If it's the same, yeah, just notice. Nice. And then very, very slowly starting to deepen your breath. And just that. And then lifting from the center. So our bandhas, yoga, we call that pelvic floor, lower belly bandhas. Let them be switched on. Bring the head back. Maybe bending that top knee with your hand. Guide it back to center. Maybe guiding both knees into bend position. Just a few roly-polies perhaps. Maybe not even lifting up. Feel into what feels relevant. That's it. Nice. And then when the time is right for you, coming into rebound. And again, maybe on your back or on your belly. Beautiful. Oh, now how does that feel? So the spine has aligned itself. And I really strongly suggest you're not looking where you are on your mat. So just feel into where you're straight, where you're aligned again. Whether that's, completely perfectly aligned on the mat or not, doesn't matter. You feel into it. Oh. And again, looking for that muscular relaxation. And I know myself, any little interruption, it's like, hang on, you've tightened the jaw again. You've lifted the shoulders, let them relax down. Letting the breath be natural. Allow your whole body be filled with that sense of prana, that sense of energy that comes with the breath. There's more to it, to prana, than the breath only. And it's a beautiful way to connect to prana, to energy. Nice. And notice how effortless you are in your rebound. Maybe the first two or so are still a little wiggly and haven't quite centered ourselves. But now it's like, this is now. This is it. We all know that we can accomplish what we have to accomplish today. But now is rebound. Being. Beautiful. Looking good, yogis. Feels good as well. Starting to deepen your breath. Yeah, just a few deeper inhalations. Exhalation, switching on from your core, bending the knees. We are going to come up to seated, so be mindful of any extra movements. Perhaps you roll to the side and then you come up. Ta-da. And we are going to come into Upavista Konasana. Relax it. So that's your dragonfly. Yeah, so the legs as wide as you can comfortably do. Well, this. And then let's have no props to start with. And let's just slump forward. Yeah, knees can be bent slightly. Where are they naturally? And then coming forward and go, well, okay, that's my forward fold here. Out of the hips and out of the spine is rounded. And then feel into what's appropriate. If this is appropriate and you don't need any props, any support, then stay. You know, our intention in class, the props are available for everyone. And the props just give us that sense of, you can lean into me here. That prop is like, come on, let go for a little bit more. The prop isn't a marker that says, come on, find me. No, the prop is your support. What have you got? Yeah, that's fine. Just make sure your feet are relaxed. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Just letting go. And sometimes if we feel a little bellyish and you have a bolster, yeah, you can just have that bolster flash into that lower belly, and that might feel really good. And sometimes you don't want anything close. Prop yourself up so you feel supported. Nice. Head hanging, or Sabrina, all good? I can't hear you. Nice. And we don't always have to fold into our final end range, just so where we are feeling some sensation, we're making space in our connective tissue. Oops. Yeah, all good. Don't feel like you have to look up just because I look up and look at the screen. I just need to see you still. That sense of letting go and just noticing. Now, I noticed in my body this morning, and I've noticed that in practice this morning, a bit imbalanced. There is more sensation singing out on the left than there is on the right. That's not unusual. And I have to just go, now here we go. Just being mindful. You can take that information off the mat and go, maybe I need to. Now, I don't have a dog, but I know some of you have. So maybe you take the lead into the other hand if you feel there is some imbalance in your physical body. You know, use the information that you gain here in your yin practice, or in your yang practice, of course, as well, to use it off the mat. Maybe on your desk in your seated position, you're quite solid for long periods of time in a particular shape that doesn't allow for balance in the physical body. So maybe need to make minor adjustments. Yeah, awareness first, just becoming aware of our tendencies and then how that plays out in our physical body, and then going, now I have the freedom of choice. If I'm not aware, I don't have freedom of choice. Beautiful. You stay. I'll just come up so I can see. Beautiful. Yeah, this is a long forward fold. Feel the roundedness in your spine, though. Maybe even bringing the breath into the roundedness of the spine. So rearing the energy in, not just letting it being broad over the whole torso. Just rain it into the spine. That's it. So exhale into the tailbone, and then inhale from the tailbone all the way to the top of the head, and finding roundedness everywhere. And we all round our spine differently. Good. Let yourself be muscularly relaxed. The toes are soft. Thighs soften. Buttocks sink down. Now feel that sense of compression. Your whole back line of your legs and your sit bones are pushing into the floor through gravity and your own weight. And then feeling into the compression at the front of your torso. And it already starts in your
in your hip creases, in your lower belly, in your center. Your center is soft. Your belly, around your belly, is soft, but it is compressed. Can we do the two this together? It's not an oxymoron. You can feel that compression through the shape, but not through your muscular engagement. Can you feel the difference? Yeah, I know you can. Beautiful. Next 10 rounds of breath, feel into where the energy is needed. You can always, if you know, if there is nothing in particular, you go, okay, I'm just going to intensify the benefit of this shape. So maybe for some of us, it's inner thighs, maybe it's hamstrings, maybe it's a lower back, and you go, I'll just bring a bit more softening, a bit more energy here with my breath and with my intention. And then that's what we can do with pain. If there is pain, it's like, you don't want to go away from it. It's like, sit with it. Accept it. Give it softness. Give it a smile. Give it your favorite color. Give it some attention. Maybe that's what's needed. And then see where that takes you. Beautiful. And then slowly deepening your breath. And it's not just physical pain, you know, it's mental and emotional pain. Let's not become too philosophical. Lifting from the core, yeah, your center, coming back to center. Oh, and then sitting up. Right, you can use your hands to bend your knees. Any movement that's sort of needed. I often like to do a cat and cow here. I'll show you sideways. Yeah, just a Toblerone legs, cat and cow, rounding, letting that chin tuck under, and then opening. The shoulders drop back behind, the head goes back before we do a rebound. If you go, no movement, Bettina, I didn't come here for movement, then you go into your rebound. Nice, beautiful. Yeah, once more, twice more, or not at all. Coming into rebound. Beautiful. Help yourself along. Ah, nice. And again, feeling into where was the impact of that previous shape? Where did you register it in your physical body? Can you go there with your feeling your awareness, or feeling that body part with your awareness? And allow yourself to not look for, oh, where should it be? Your experience is your experience. Maybe you drifted off a little and, you know, went into the external. That's okay too. Uh-oh, elephants upstairs. Beautiful. Maybe there is a particular body part or a spot in your body that draws attention. Maybe that happens for a reason. Give it that attention. Otherwise, again, that stillness, that practice of just being. Maybe this is the only time in the week where you practice just being. Pure acceptance. Mind is turning inwards and just observes. And it's a daily practice. We become more familiar, but it's like health or relationship. It takes work. It's dynamic. Beautiful. Very nice. Few deeper inhalations, exhalations, so we can muscularly engage again. We don't want to just snip out of it. It's like, let's be kind in yoga practice. Switching on from the belly, bending your knees, maybe roly-polies, or safely over to the side, coming to seated. Now, I'd like us to go into a supported fish pose, or, you know, the name is not so important. If you have a block, those of you with a block, couple of ideas here. Either the block on its flattest between the shoulder blades, so that would be here, lowering down, or you have two blocks, you bring them both
Oh, so the thoracic wants to open. If you want to have this a little stronger, a little higher, the block on the side like this, shoulder blades. When you do this, you're very, very likely to be needing some support underneath your head. Where is it? Here we go. What if there is two of you and you only have one block? Uh-oh. I would even need more. This is quite strong. Or if you go, I don't want anything too strong. I like it soft and fluffy this morning. You come back to your blanket idea. You could have your blanket just here. You could have your blanket where the shoulder blades are. Or is that too many options? I hope not. Bolster people. You can have your bolster like this and go over the bolster and have your head supported. So the buttocks are still on the floor. That's the condition. Let me see. I come into mine so you can but feel into. Yeah. In case of the absence of any official yoga props, roll your mat. Yeah, roll your mat. Or what else have you got? A few blankets, cushions. So that's that ultimate in heart opening, chest opening. I think that's the gesture that Marie was making in the beginning. That's it. Yeah, that's it, Lisa. You'll need some support for your head. Yeah, those of you with bolsters from me, you know, new bolsters, they're very high. They give you quite a strong opening. So feel into what's useful. Yeah, good, good. Yep, yep. There we go. I'm just going to come up and swap screens a little. Let's see, Sabrina. Nice. Hello, Lily. Good, good. Yeah, finding it. Sometimes that's the challenge, to find some stillness and go, oh, that's it, Rebecca. That's it, Kath. That's it. Yeah, make sure your head is supported, especially with you know, some of you with neck unwellnesses. It's not suffering. We want to make this easeful. That's it, Sharon. Beautiful. Helen, I can't see, but I know she's safe. Linda. Lovely. Kathy as well. I get to know your living room so well. Okay, check in, just check in. No need to see me. Check in with your thoughts. Uh-oh, no thoughts. Just coming back into physical sensation. And some of us are very happy in the body. Yes, physical sensation. And some of us, and you know, we could vary, of course. And some of us not so. And so yoga practice gives you that beautiful, beautiful playground of being able to be with what is. And as I said in a few classes after Saturday satsang with my meditation teacher, he said, oh, acceptance doesn't mean defeat. I go, yeah, that suits me. I like that. Yeah, this acceptance is that momentarily accepting and just going, yeah. And even accepting that we don't want to accept. Beautiful. Have a little feel. Do the toes sort of roll outwards more, or do they roll inwards? Or are they kind of sort of pointing to the ceiling? No judgment. Notice how we can easily go into, oh, what's she asking? What should it be? Just feel into it. Beautiful. Yeah, and of course you feel into that beautiful back bend. What am I going to do? Bit of bolster. Now the block gives you quite a strong compression. Feel into that. Yeah, if we use the block here, it's perhaps a couple of degrees more challenging to find the softness, because I want you all to now soften into your prop. Can you trust? It requires a sense of trust here, going, oh, if I soften even more, I'm already sort of feeling that elongation, that tension at the front, that beautiful opening, but it is quite perhaps at its maximum. So what happens if I soften? Just allow it to happen, feel into it. sense of surrender, and then the sense of softening into that shape, into your prop. And then let's do the same with the buttocks and legs, backs of the legs. Yeah, you can have the legs straight. If it's too much, you bend your knees. I know some of you like butterfly legs, but I deliberately didn't say too much about the legs. I want this to be that beautiful heart opening, chest opening, that beautiful extension of the thoracic spine that we all need, particularly as we perhaps sit a little more. Or maybe I'm making that up. Maybe it's just my children that sit a little more. No, I know for some of you it's the same. So there, feel into that bolster. Let that shape be the way it is for you this morning. Soften your jaw, soften your eyes. Become aware of the sense of relaxation in your feet and your hands. Yeah, just finding a few breaths of stillness, even though you may find sort of slowly you go, this is a little high. Perhaps you need to lower yourself a little. Maybe the block is becoming a little strong. Looking good, everyone. Beautiful. A complete sense of letting go. And then let's feel into our sternum. Let's feel into our breastbone, regardless of what you've got underneath you, what shape you've chosen. See if we can feel that sense of peeling away energetically, but also, of course, physically from your sternum. So there is the tissue peeling away on either side from the sternum. And it may not be a dramatic sensation as I make it sound, but see if you can feel that. Beautiful. The arms can be to the side, overhead, just feeling into what's relevant for you this morning. Beautiful. Check in. What's got your attention? Brilliant. And I'm not saying that, there's no sensation anywhere else other than in the sternum and in the diaphragm and in the belly. Some of you with the arms overhead or to the side, we get quite some beautiful opening in our front of the shoulders, that whole rotator cuff area. It's like breathing into the armpit area, breathing into the connective tissue around our pectoral muscles. Beautiful. In Yin Yoga, we hydrate with compression. That we feel all along our backs now, and with tension. That we feel all along the front. Now feeling into, before we come out, feel into your throat, everyone. Yeah, just a feeling sensation. For most of us, that throat, the front of the neck is fairly nicely elongated, opened. And then feel at the back of the neck, or the back of the throat and neck. That sense of compression. For some of us, a little stronger. For some of us, not so. But feeling into, can we do that? Now, Yin is beautiful to feel into various body parts. Just a few more breaths here. I've just shifted so I can demonstrate that we could go onto the block. Nice. And as I said, if you like to purchase a block and a bolster, we can make something happen. Beautiful. Energetically, we're opening with these supine back bends. Yes, supine facing to the ceiling, prone facing down. Supine, we quite strongly stimulate all our major energy centers, and particularly here with this one, our heart chakra and our throat chakra and our solar plexus around the belly. Beautiful. I'd just like to say that when we come out of this shape, our next rebound is our final Shavasana. So that may determine whether you stay a few more breaths in this shape or whether you want to come out of it and then come into Shavasana. So, yeah. So in a moment's time, you're welcome to do those 10 breaths, moving the energy into somewhere in your physical body. You can do that if you like. Otherwise, to come out, we will do our ritual of breathing a little deeper. And then switching on from our belly, bending the knees. Either rolling to the side. If you're on a bolster, you could come forward or just use your hands to come up to a seated position. And you're very welcome to stay in seated or to stay side lying for a little. Yeah, that was a long hold. So just gently, gently. Maybe if you're seated, you can let the head hang. Restoring that unrestricted flow of energy. How good is that? Beautiful. We will chant in lying down. So when you're ready, I mean, if you want to do the, the windscreen vipers a little, or a cat and cow in the seated, absolutely welcome to. Otherwise, slowly, maybe your bolster could now come underneath your knees. Maybe you need a blanket, maybe an eye pillow. It's nice. Don't underestimate extra weight on your eyes. So even if you just come with a towel, or the sleeve of your jumper could come over your eyes. What am I going to do? You do want to have, you do want to have the physical body as neutral, skeletally as neutral as possible. Nice. So not too elevated with the head. If you can, the arms slightly away from the body, palms facing up, as fingers slightly curled. Beautiful. Again, notice simply for your awareness whether the toes fold inwards, outwards, or maybe more straight to the ceiling. Beautiful. Allowing the experience to be what it is. Coming back to noticing perhaps some heat or a tingling sensation where the block was in the previous shape, where the bolster was, where the impact was of the previous shape. Feel into that. And often we can sense a sense of space, a sense of spaciousness there. Or any other sensation or energetic shift that you can detect. Beautiful. Let the shoulders be relaxed. Let your eyes soften. Let your teeth be unclenched, your jaw soft. Let your breath be natural and yet it's expansive. The chest is free. The rib cage is broad, the belly is soft. The hips are spacious. We're feeling and finding ourselves in a state of equilibrium. We've helped our body, assisted our body in finding homeostasis. The workings of our energetic and our physical body is always one that looks out for our highest good, aims for homeostasis, equal balance, and vibrant health. And we have assisted with providing assisting conditions for this to happen. Enjoy your Shavasana for a few more minutes. Just a few more breaths. Slowly now, starting to become aware of your body against the floor. Just that sense of awareness is enough. Starting to deepen your breath. And just notice the state of relaxation you have allowed yourself to move into. With your ability to show up, to give back to yourself. And know that you can be that relaxed. You can also be that content and connected to all your bodies, your energetic body, your physical body, and your mental state, your mental body. Yeah. So that's beautiful. Allow yourself to anchor that, perhaps. Anchor it, and I know you're familiar with this. We do this sometimes in other classes as well. Anchor it to a physical body part, perhaps a body part where you feel emotions. And so when between now and when we practice again, or any time in life there is a situation coming up or a stimulus that perhaps has the potential to draw you off that sense of calm, that sense of peace, that sense of homeostasis and balance, and you come back, you feed into that body part and you bring up that sense of calm. Beautiful. Slowly now, let's start to move. Wiggle toes, fingers. Deepen the breath, slowly rolling over to the, I roll over to the right side. You can choose. We roll to the right often because that's away from the heart. I've been told that the singing bowls don't sound so good, but I'll see. Let's have a little feel. So when you're in your side lying position, thank yourself again for showing up to a formal practice. What was your intention for your practice if you've said one? And then let's find something we're grateful for. Beautiful. And then very slowly, let's come to seated in your own time. Beautiful. You can close your eyes again. And we're just going to chant an Om. Oh, maybe an Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Yeah, why not? Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. When you're ready, just closing down the eyes again. Bringing the hands in prayer in front of the heart, in front of that beautiful opening here. That opened, broadened chest and heart. Finding stillness again. So we chant Om and then Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. See how we go. All right, let's exhale here. Big inhale. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bowing the head forward. Peace, peace, and perfect peace. Let's bow all the way forward. Namaste. So before you go and before I unmute you, I'd just like to say thank you for joining me, for joining the group. Thanks for bringing your energy, your sense of humor, and I wish you a marvelous rest of the day. Hopefully I'll see you again. When can I see you again? Well, tonight, 7 o'clock, tomorrow, 9:30, the free meditation for half an hour, Thursday morning, regularly every week. And if you simply only join me for yin, I'll see you next Wednesday. All right, I say ciao, but I'll unmute you. If you want to say something, you can. Ta-da! Okay, I'll just finish the recording.